Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you've been following along the past couple of weeks, you know that the month of May is all about the mom, and I've been doing this great series. So for the third installment of this series today, we are talking about 5 things I wish I would have known before breastfeeding. So if you want to hear about all the fun, then keep watching. The first thing I wish I would have known before breastfeeding was that for me, it was literally harder than giving birth. And I don't say that lightly, because if you saw my last video, you know that I had my son completely natural. But the reason why for me breastfeeding was so much harder is because labor is, it can go on for many, many hours, but it's just those many, many hours. Breastfeeding can go on for months. So if you're having a hard time breastfeeding and it's going on and going on and going on, it can be very, very stressful. And a lot of the reason why I think people can have some depression issues too after having a baby. So if you're experiencing this, then know that it's completely normal, but there's also an array of things that you can do. I had a really difficult time with getting my son to latch, so I saw a lactation specialist, and that really helped. And just kind of accepting the fact that that was the moment that I was in at the time and just trying my best. So if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. The second thing I wish I would have known before breastfeeding was that it's okay to try it. And I'm a huge advocate in trying it, and I think that every mother should try it. But if it's not working for you and if it's not working for your child, then it's okay to let it go. And that was the hardest thing for me because I so badly wanted to do what was best for my child and strictly breastfeed him. I didn't want to supplement. I thought formula was evil. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, which I think in turn caused it to be even that much more harder. I didn't produce a lot of milk, which is already a challenge for me as it was. And looking back on it, knowing what I know now, I think that my son was starving a lot of the time, and that's makes me sad, to say that. I think a lot of the times he was screaming and crying because he was so hungry, but I was so dead set on only breastfeeding him that I just let him go hungry and I didn't realize it. So I wish that I would have known that it was okay to try other methods, because at the end of the day, you just need to do what's best for your child. And if your child is hungry and you're not producing enough, there's only so much that you can do. So definitely keep that in mind if you're going through that struggle. The third thing I wish I would have known before breastfeeding was that formula is not the enemy. And I have to be the first to admit that I'm the one who actually made formula an enemy. I don't know what it is with this day and age. I don't know if it's this West Coast thing, but breastfeeding is trendy, breastfeeding is in, as it should be. It's the best thing for your child. But if it's not working, it's like formula is not like this acid that's gonna kill your child if you use it. And that was what was so funny to me for the longest time. I made it so difficult on myself, and I refused to give my son formula. And even my mom would say, like, just give him the formula. I was raised on formula. There's so many children out there that were. And again, I'm not advocating that formula is better than breastfeeding. I'm such a proponent of breastfeeding, and I think that first and foremost, you need to do that. But if it's not working out, and if you're not able to produce enough, or if you need to supplement, then that is okay. I do strongly, strongly recommend that you get organic, whatever you get. And I also recommend that you look into the downfalls of soy formula, especially for baby boys. I'm not a health expert and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna get into all of that with you, but definitely do your research, especially if you have a son. And if you need to put him on a non-dairy formula, there are other alternatives out there other than soy that may be a good option for you. So the fourth thing that I wish I would have known before breastfeeding, and I know I've already kind of mentioned it here, is the beauty of supplementing. For the longest time, probably 3 months into after I had my son, I was still breastfeeding him exclusively. It was so hard. He was so hungry. I wasn't producing enough. It was just so stressful. I was having bouts of the baby blues, as they call it. And when I started to supplement, all of that changed. I had a happier baby. I was a happier mom. We were able to balance some more things out. I felt like I was more of a human being a little bit more. I felt like we could do more, go places, and I wasn't just bound or strapped to this breastfeeding schedule that I had. I was able to still put my child first and give him what he needed, but at the same time, not putting so much shame into myself about the supplementing. I strongly encourage you to just be open to the idea of supplementing if breastfeeding has been very, very hard for you. If it's not hard for you, and if you're one of those awesome milkmaids out there that just produce all day long, then more power to your girlfriend. Keep producing, keep doing it. There's no need for you to supplement. But if you were like me and could barely get, 4 ounces out at a time, supplementing could be the best thing for you. So the 5th thing that I wish I would have known before breastfeeding is that unfortunately your boobs were never going to be the same. And I'm sorry to tell you that. Or maybe you're just fabulous out there and they're better than they were before, and maybe it's just me. But from my experience and from a lot of my friends' experiences, the boobs just kind of change. After all these months of breastfeeding, they're just gonna look a little different. But that's okay, because there's some really amazing push-up bras out there. So I hope you liked this 3rd video in our series of the 5 things I wish I would have known before having a baby. And until next time, see you soon. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing our 2nd video in the Mom to Mom series, which is all about the 5 things that I wish I would have known